Hey guys, my name is RyanCentral and welcome to HitScan. It's Battle Pass time. For Episode 3, Act 3, we get to look at all of the assets, the skins, the sprays, all that stuff. Unfortunately, Miska couldn't be with us this time. I'll talk about it in a second. So let's get started. First of all, we'll go over one of the skin lines in this bundle. There's 3 total, that being the Goldwing set. And whilst I'm showing off the classic, which is one of my favorite classic skins I've seen in a while, I did want to have a quick PSA. First of all, there are timestamps in this video if you want to skip over, say for example, the gun buddies or the sprays. You're not really interested in that, you want to see the gun skins, that's all cool. And I know that our videos are typically quite long doing this, we get a lot of complaints about that. Obviously, because Miska's not here, it might be a bit shorter. But if I'm to make a request, I would really appreciate if you watch the full video, even if you watch it at 2x speed, or even just skip over certain sections. Just because YouTube likes that, the algorithm prefers that from what I can tell. But if you do want to skip to certain skins, and you don't want your time wasted, just a like and a subscribe would mean a lot. That's a great way to, again, keep those interactions up on YouTube and all that jazz. It'd mean a lot to me, so thank you. And of course, if you think that we're sort of taking a mickey with these long videos, let me know in the comments. Like, your feedback is really appreciated and I want to be as good as I can making this kind of stuff. I really like this. I really like this bundle as a whole as we'll sort of go through it. It reminds me a lot of the Celestial set that came out quite some time ago. Obviously, this isn't animated, there's no variants, but there is on the set as we'll get to it. But I do think that this is a pretty neat and tidy classic. But if you are a bit of a pistol hogger, you want to get some more stuff, there is a ghost in here available as well, which we'll go over. Whilst I'm showing off the ghost in the background here, Miska is really busy with the stuff that he's doing at Avalanche Studios. Of course, for those that have been following, he's been doing a lot of game production there, producing, and I can't talk about some of the stuff he's mentioned. I'm sure he'll tweet out at the time if you want to check out Miska_ on Twitter. He'll let you know when some of the cool stuff that he's working on is ready to be talked about. But yeah, he's super busy this week. It's unfortunate timing. And to be fair, all of the assets from this week did feel like they came out of nowhere. I was expecting with the agent being delayed that we would not get some of these assets, at least not the day after a lot of that information came out. But of course, as I've been chatting, the judge has started to show itself on screen as we've gone through the ghost. I really like this set. Usually it's hard for me to really get involved with a skin bundle that doesn't have the bells and whistles of some of the premium ones, just because I'm bougie like that. I really hate it, that aspect of it, but I really like this skin line. It doesn't need to be animated, it doesn't need to have a kill animation. I think for a skin line that you're paying for in a battle pass or the 10,000 credits, is not too bad considering. And I imagine a couple of these skins, I don't know which ones will be, but some of them will be free as you sort of gain that experience and work through the battle pass without actually buying it, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, much like previous battle passes that we get a bit earlier, we don't know what order everything is in, but like the gun selection with the Goldwing set is a little bit rough. You've got 2 pistols, then you've got a judge, and then you've got an Ares. So really, how many of you guys are rolling with all 4 of those guns that you typically use? I wouldn't say it's likely. That's the only drawback, but these are some of the prettiest guns that I think we've ever seen in the Battle Pass, to be honest. And it's nice that it doesn't have to be super complicated, super animated. It's not a green screen set. It's just nice. So let's move on to the sprays now. Of course, as per usual, these maybe aren't as exciting as some of the new skin lines or buddies, but the main potential from having a brief look at a couple of them is definitely there. I think you're going to like these just as much as the previous ones that we've had in the past. But we'll start with a very straightforward one. Turn it up, it's just the jukebox that you can see on Breeze from the little restaurant shack that serves up food there. And it is animated, which is cool. I also wanted to show off the Goldwing spray, which again, despite it being connected to the skin line, which some of these usually aren't too great, I just like everything about this design. I thought maybe it would have something to do with the Chinese New Year sort of coming up. Obviously we have like Halloween at the moment, Christmas, there's a lot of references to the holiday season. The devs mentioned that in their Q&A, so I figured that might be it, but no, we had the Year of the Rooster a couple of years ago and we're going into the Year of the Tiger next year, so probably not likely. As we move on to a beautiful one, it's lit, this is really cute. I wanted to say that this battle pass will run until the 11th of January 2022, so this is the last battle pass and last agent that we're going to get this year. And I also wonder if Chamber, by the way, if you want to see the new agent, there's a very short, less than 2-minute video going over his abilities if you want to check it out. I do wonder if he's going to be playable in Champions or not. I'd imagine so, but I guess that's a lot of stress for some of the teams to deal with Champions being just over a month away. So we'll have to see what Riot decide there. As we move on to Mance on the Broom, I don't really have too much to say about some of these sprays. They're cute, obviously, they're all really nice, but we haven't got into the references just yet at the very least. There is a buddy for this, by the way, which we'll check out a little later on. You know, these are the tame sprays in comparison to what some of the Riot cosmetic teams have been working on, but they're still nice, especially if you're a cat person. That's the kind of thing for you. The no Bucky spray, I swear we've had this like 5 times, but I understand it's like the Judge, the Shorty, the Odin, I'm pretty sure has had one. It just feels like, have we really not had a Bucky one of these at this point? That's kind of surprising to me. But now we get onto the cool streak of sprays, I'll tell you that much. Next up is Plant the Spike. It's a nice little cute one, obviously a play on words because you're planting the spike and it's got green leaves coming out of it. But this next one, I think you're really going to like. I absolutely adore this one. It's a sad Yoru. Obviously, it's a nice little reference to the sad Keanu sitting on the bench. But I also think that personally, it has a lot resonating with me as well. So I really like this one. This is the one I think I'm going to try and run with for the most part. And now suddenly, I'm playing Yoru a lot more. This also could be in reference to the fact that Yoru hasn't been reworked yet at this act. So I'd say that this is a pretty well-timed spray to be added, and of course a great reference to a sad little agent that's been left on the sidelines a little too long. Next up is the Sugar Muffin spray. This is honestly just terrifying to me. It's not cute, it's just those eyes. It looks a little bit evil. I'm pretty sure there's a buddy of this one as well, but you know, it's standard cute little stuff. But now we get on to some of the other meme ones. Obviously the Futurama Take My Money. This spray is called Take My Creds. Personally, I feel like there's just going to be a Twitter account now that just spams this spray now on all of the tweets of Riot and Valorant announcing a new skin line, for example. I mean, it's perfect. Again, it sort of hits the nail on the head with what it's meant to be. I gotta say as well, the art team is incredibly talented with just nailing the look on all of these. Not only the meme potential ones like this Sky one, and also the This Is Really Not Fine spray for Sage. They're adorable, they're really funny, but also when you look at some of the player cards, as we'll see in the Battle Pass, the serious images as well, it's just a talented team behind Riot, and these are some, again, fantastic sprays that they're able to nail down. I don't know if this is a reference to something in particular, let me know if I've been dumb in the comments, but the same thing could be mentioned when it comes to the Trevor Gets It spray. I feel I should know what this is a reference to, but I don't know. I guess it's a kick W, right? Is that genuinely what it's meant to be? Has it just dropped on me that this is their attempt at a kick W? I have no words. I think this is great. I don't know if I would have preferred it to be on a certain agent instead of one of the tacti animals or whatever they're called, like Trevor. Let me know what you think. I do think that this is probably a kick W, but it's still... I would have preferred to see it on a different agent in the future maybe as well. I mean, they could do this multiple times if they want. Also, another one where I don't know if it's a particular reference to something, but Astro Volunteer is what it's called. Again, let me know if I'm being dumb with not understanding that one. In any case, it's still a nice, pretty spray to be added in. And also, this Reyna one's super nice. I know that all the Reyna players is going to love to spam this one. And I know some Marcus is going to like it as well, I feel. This is right up his alley. It's a nice, cute one. Obviously, it's great when you just dump on everybody playing Reyna. It is nice. And finally, it's just a little seagull, which... from living in Bristol, is just immediately one of my favorites as well. I don't know where this is. That's a good question for the comments. This must be sprayed on a map somewhere, because I know Volcano likes to draw little animals on each of the different maps. What map do you think this is? I gotta be honest, it's probably Fracture, right? Because I don't recognize it from anywhere else, and I haven't really played that much Fracture since it's come out. So there are all of the sprays, some really nice ones in there. The memes are great as per usual, but even the ones that are just straightforward, still pretty, still nice, might be worth a buck or two. Now we move on to another set of weapon skins. I think you're going to like this. This is the Aero set, and this set actually has some variants. Let's start with the pistol across all of these, and from looking at the guns, actually the selection of guns isn't too bad. The ones that I'm showing you immediately is the standard version with a little bit of that sort of grey tint, a little bit of pink. It's almost like Kratos colours, I suppose, with how it looks, and I actually really like that. Not really a person that uses the Frenzy all that much, but like I mentioned, we'll go over the variants for each of them as well. First of all, you can sort of see the pink, which actually looks really nice. The pink skins that have been added into the game recently, like the Sentinels of Light set, I actually really adore. But if this is a bit too, I don't know, I don't want to say feminine, but you like sort of purple and pink, but this is just a bit too bright and you want something a bit darker, there is also this variant as well as a sort of darker purple, darker colors of like the black instead of the white, but you still have this nice streak running through it. This reminds me of something that you'd see in Destiny, like the Menagerie, that kind of stuff. Really nice look, and considering it's just a frenzy, it looks solid. But if you're not a fan of pink and purple, there's also a green set as well, which reminds me of the RGX that came out recently, which I think had a frenzy, right, in it as well. So I guess that's a shame if you were trying to build up that color scheme, but it's nice. I mean, it's pretty decent for a frenzy. I think I prefer the look of this frenzy in comparison to the classic and the ghost from the other set. I don't know, let me know what you think. The second gun in the set is the Guardian. We could just go through this one very quickly. Same colors as we've been seeing. Looks really nice. Again, I can't remember the last time I properly used a Guardian. I'm more of a Spectre guy or a Sheriff than trying to pick up this gun on a lower buy. Or a Bulldog. Bulldogs are much better guns anyway than Vandals and Phantoms is what I've found. The pink looks nice. I think I prefer the Frenzy pink version instead of the Guardian. The deep purple look is really good on the Guardian, I find. Like, it's nice and sort of chic. And the green's okay. Again, I feel that this is sort of crossing into the RGX territory, which I think had a Guardian in it as well. Most likely it's going to sound normal, doesn't have any animations on it as far as I could tell. But the variants are pretty nice, considering this is a skin set that you can get in the Battle Pass. I think even the normal versions of all of these guns is really nice and chic. But seeing as I was talking about the Spectre just a second ago, you can look at what that looks like on this skin set. Again, just the base design looks really good if you're a God of War fan and you're excited for the new Ragnarok one. So it lines up with that. The pink, again, I think I prefer it on the pistol over the bigger gun. The deeper purple one is really nice. This definitely looks like a gun from Destiny, to say the very least. Especially the gold that you have just on the top of the gun if you're seeing it. And then finally the green, which looks nice. Almost reminds me a bit more of the Ego set that came out a year ago. But I think out of all of the variants, I prefer the purple version, then the God of War one, then this green one, in line with the pink one, I think. I don't really dislike any of them, but I think if I was actually going to put money towards them, I'd want the deep purple one. But if you are a Phantom user, you can also have a look at what it looks like. I actually really like the pink version of this Phantom. Obviously, it's a lot different to the original, which looks really good, to be honest. Like, that's a nice Phantom skin. But all of the variants as well have their own styles and the way that they nail it in. The purple, again, looks great. The gold, just highlighting on it, is really nice. The green is okay. I feel like these are skin lines and colors that we've seen before. Obviously, this is the point where Sean would say about green skins and certainly green Guardian skins in the game. They have somehow added another one. But that is the Aero set. We'll go over the Genesis one a little bit shortly. Now going over to the buddies. I wanted to go over the buddies first before the play cards because we can usually get through these ones fairly quickly. First one is the Dumpster Fire. We've had sprays of this in the past, so it makes sense why we'd get a buddy. Again, it kind of feels that we've had this before. I don't know if it's just a case of deja vu, but in any case, it's still really nice to get it as a buddy. Now we also get, there's a certain word for this, but I've forgotten, but we get to look at what Breeze looks like. Obviously, we've had Bind, Haven, Split versions of these kind of things in the past. Getting Breeze is good. I guess we'll get a Fracture one a little later on into the future. You can obviously tell it's Breeze. I mean, it's pretty nice. This is the edible ornament. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of references to the holiday season. As we'll get onto the player cards, there's quite a few there that are really cute. This obviously could work with the Winter Wonderland skin line, which I hope gets like added to the store a bit more frequently coming up to sort of the holiday season, you know. Be kind of weird. I've been getting it in my store like since June on a couple of weird occasions. It could be nice to bring it back or just see what other Christmas skins we get in the future. Obviously, these we expect to see at this point in the episode 3 Act 3 coin 2021. Really nice. There is a epilogue version of the Dumpster Fire. If you really like this skin line and want to work towards it, you can go for the Battle Pass and get this towards the end. We also have Genesis, which has a lot to do with the last skin line that we've not shown off yet. Again, you've probably checked the melee weapon on the thumbnail. It's basically a lot of purple crystals involved and all that. Magic Mance, we saw the spray before with the cat on the broom, in case you wanted an actual physical version to have in your gun. It is a really nice one. I wish I knew what order these were in, because some of these, again, could be free, could be like level 49 in the battle pass. Really hard to get a gauge on where Riot are going to place this kind of stuff. As we move on to the soccer chair, I feel like the buddies out of everything in the battle pass are the thing I'm interested in the least, mostly because I like the lucky cat one I had from the first battle pass. And also, Riot were very kind to give me one of the Riot gun buddies. Don't ask me where I get it from. I'll just meme you and say Mitchman on Twitter. But I don't want you guys to absolutely hound him. I don't know where you get it from. But yeah, that is the soccer chair. And finally, we finish on winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nice one. Obviously, a nice reference to some of the PUBG stuff and just what people say nowadays in general in gaming. There is actually one I forgot to mention. Bit of a weird one because they put this in a different folder. It's called Get the Picture, and this is one that has multiple angles that you could see of the camera. Again, I feel like we've seen a camera gun buddy before, but I just might be dumb. They're all great. Like I said, buddies are really the thing that I'm personally not as invested in comparison to other stuff, but they're all pretty nice, they're all pretty cool, and if you're like me, they just sort of fill the slots in the battle pass. Now we can move over to the player cards. This is usually where we get teasers for new maps, new agents in the future, as well as a couple of things that are dropped down from a lore perspective. Obviously, with Chamber being added into the game, we have his player card. If you want to see his abilities again, check the video that went out, it's in the description and top comment, and tune in a little bit later for maybe a bit more gameplay and information from the devs is what I'll say. Again, check the description and the top comment for all that. So we'll move on to one of my favorite play cards ever. This is Downtime, of course, as we go into the holiday season. Yule logs sitting in front of the fire, and obviously one of Omen's favorite hobbies is to knit. And also the fact that he's knitting an octopus as well is something that is going to really get people hyped, especially Sean Garris, that really loves that lore Easter egg, I guess, the theory that Omen is actually just a giant octopus monster person underneath the hood. I think I understood it right. We also have the golden epilogue version, which looks nice, it looks chic, so Omen mains, you got a lot of work to be doing in the future. This is a Genesis card for those that think that this is a new agent teaser. We've seen Riot do this quite a few times in the past, right, where they sort of make lore surrounding their skins. There was one like this that was very Warframe-esque. I think it was Act 2, Episode 1. You know, the big metal sword, Hive Mind, I think it was called. This is kind of similar, right? So don't expect this to be a new agent. This is just some of the lore that the devs like to put in when it comes to new skin lines, especially if there's futuristic elements of it. Speaking of skin lines, this is the Goldwing card. Again, this is gorgeous. This is genuinely something that I would vibe with and use in my games. I just think that this is a really nice design. It's cute. It does sort of give me the sort of like Chinese New Year vibes, especially like the red and the gold, which is a typical color. Like I mentioned, Hero Arista was 2017, I think, because it was one of the first events that Overwatch did around the Lunar New Year, I suppose is the way to describe it. And that's why it probably ties in a lot to the Celestial set, because that was put out as well around the Lunar New Year of this year, I'm pretty sure, the Celestial ones. Then we move on to Kingdom Divided, obviously a fractured skin line. Very curious of what you guys think of the map now that we've had it in the game for a couple of months. I tweeted before that I really like it. I dislike that people dislike it. I understand it's complicated and hard to get your head around, and that people dodge it or others don't know how to play it. But I think it is a perfect map to have in Valorant. I just don't want to see any more maps like that because it takes away from Fracture and then it gets annoying with how complicated the maps can be. But from what the devs have said in the past, we might see more maps like Ascent in the future. Very straightforward, very CS-esque. And yeah, I think that's what the game needs now, considering we have Icebox, Fracture, and now Breeze in the map pool. This is the Kodiak Steel player card. We saw a little bit of this in the last Battle Pass. These are sort of like lore teasers to the manufacturers inside the game. We sort of mentioned it was similar to how Borderlands approaches stuff, like Jacobs, for example, Hyperion, the gun brands and stuff that you can find in the game and the companies behind them, Atlas. It's similar, so I guess we're getting a few more of those. I can't remember the names of the ones from the previous Battle Pass, but this is just another one talking about the default knives that you get made from a company called Kodiak. I don't think it's going to really go into any of the lore stuff in the future, but it's just, you know, expanding the universe even just a little bit. Now this one's called Livewire. I don't know whether this is something more to do with Chamber or whether it's maybe a teaser for a new agent in the future. Livewire, again, there's a lot of electricity vibes in here. Because I haven't seen what the abilities look like from Deadeye, really hard to get a gauge on whether this is just one of his traps, one of his abilities, or whether it's something for the future. It is definitely something that I think we should revisit. If you have watched this in the future and you've sort of seen what Chamber's abilities look like, I keep calling him Deadeye, then you can let me know, because I'll definitely keep an eye on this one, because this certainly could be something for the future to keep an eye out for. Living the Nightmare is this one, and it's a nice cute Halloween one where we've got Sage, we've got Omen. Omen's really not liking going. I think they're cat ears, more cat ears than devil horns, and Sage is giving me Witch Mercy vibes in that outfit. But this is what I said before, like the meme art that we've seen in this battle pass is adorable and really good. Even just pictures like this one are fantastic. I think the devs have done a really good job. They've hit a lot of timings, I suppose, with holidays and stuff like that. I really enjoy it. And speaking of which, here's one on cooldown as well. Breach and Astra building some of the snowmen around snowmen on the map Icebox. Astra even using a bit of a kit to make it a better job. Again, just fantastic art, really cute. Don't really know how much you're going to use this player card when it's the middle of June 2022, for example. But if you're a Viper player, this is certainly one to keep an eye on for. Again, art is fantastic. More stuff to do with Viper in the future for sure. She's a very interesting character that I'm interested to find out more when it comes to lore. So this is good, and I'll finish on this last one. KO versus Brimstone. First of all, I really like Brimstone in like a purple skin. I think some people might turn around and say, oh, maybe we're going to get different colored skins for agents in the future. Probably rein that in a little bit, to be honest. But considering all of the lore surrounding KO's launch and stuff like that, I'm very curious to hear more about their relationship. Usually Simprel's really good for finding voice lines and lore stuff for that, so I'll be sure to send her your way if we hear any more voice lines, not only for these guys, but also Chamber in the future. They're all of the player cards, some interesting stuff. Obviously, we have to be a bit longer on these because some of them have implications to the future of the game or what they're teasing. But now we can sort of hit the big guns, that being Genesis. This is a pretty good set, and I wanted to start with the pistol skin. Again, we seem to have had all of the pistols other than the Sheriff in this bundle, which is a little bit odd. We got a classic, we got a shorty now, which is the Genesis one I'm showing on screen. Again, the big purple crystal in the middle. We had a Ghost for Goldwing, and we had a Frenzy for the Aero set as well. This is good. I mean, yeah, this sort of reminds me again of Destiny, the menagerie kind of guns that you find there. Reminds me of a lot of the Dry and Ice stuff as well from World of Warcraft, just the Naru, the big crystal hammer that I used to always want when I was a Draenei Paladin way back when. Yeah, this is just nice. I mean, it's a shorty. I don't know how much you guys are going to be interested in it. There is a Bucky as well in this set, which looks really smart, actually. I don't know if there's going to be certain sounds or animations. I would imagine that firing these guns hopefully feels a lot more futuristic. If you just get the default firing noise for a Bucky, that's a little bit disappointing. But if you have more of a, I can't believe I'm doing this, like phew, kind of more like a lasery sound, then this could really work with a line like the Bucky. So maybe, I hope so, once we see these things in game. By the way, I'm pretty sure that the Battle Pass and all that stuff is going to come out on time. We're going to get this next Tuesday, along with a new patch that might have some changes in, new premium skin line. Don't really know anything about those just yet. So yeah, if you're wondering when this skin line should come out, if it's going to be delayed like Chamber is, the likely answer is no. So that's the Bucky. Again, nice sort of stuff. Not really sure what else to really highlight it. The Bulldog, though, I can get behind this. I don't know if I like this Bulldog as much as some of the other Bulldog skins in the game. I like that it's not quite as sharp as a glitch pop. It's more curvy, certainly on the top of the gun and at the back of it. Usually the Bulldog's a bit more stiff. So again, this is a really nice style. If you have more of a futuristic sound or maybe even just a more interesting reload on it, maybe there's something around this gun that could be worth picking up. I can imagine that these colors and the spirals and stuff is stuff that really people like. Reminds me of the Origin set a little bit as well, just because of the circles and the design, and the Origin set is personally one of my favorite that we've seen. But this is the big gun. This is the one I like the most out of all of the gun skins that we've seen. Obviously, the Operator is one of the popular guns that people at least like to use. Whether they're good at using them is another question, but I think this looks so nice. There's a lot more colors and lines on this gun, but I think you can't really see it from a first person's perspective, but the scope on it looks really nice. I like just the top of the gun. I can't really highlight it on screen, but the thing that looks a bit more like a Cobra wings, it reminds me of the purple Cobra logo for Dodgeball. I'm coming out with some weird stuff today, man. It's a rush of a day, you can imagine, because I didn't expect to get all of this stuff sent today and have a video made today. I'm also casting this weekend, and it's Halloween, so this is a fantastic op skin. Usually a lot of the good Operator skins are found in bundles, so the fact that this is in the Battle Pass, I got to imagine it's probably right at the arse end because it is that nice. This is really good, and I can't wait to see people really vibe with this and want to play it more. Maybe the skin line gives you aim hack. Maybe Noted is right. Maybe this is the operator that actually does it this time. But finally, we can move on to the melee. This is what it looks like. For me, pass. I think that on the face of it, I don't like it. The thing that I'm really interested about this skin, though, is if there's a bit of a different animation. If it's held like a normal underhand knife that we've seen in the past, yeah, sure, I don't really know if I like it. Because it's more of a fist weapon, it could be any form of animations, really. Also, because we've just got pictures of them, it really is hard to get a gauge on how big it is, whether it sort of fits in your hand like a knuckle duster almost, or whether it's a bit larger. It could be two-handed for all we know. It could be like a massive sheath thing that you hold on to. But yeah, I mean, that's the exciting thing, getting into game, checking these out, and they should be coming in towards next week. Usually at this point, I ask you guys and I ask Miska if this is a cop or drop for a battle pass. Usually I'm pretty indifferent about battle passes overall, just because the skin lines are never really up to my taste usually. The sprays are cool, but is it worth spending $10 on sprays or player cards? I think that this is one of the most complete battle passes that we've had. All of the skin lines feel great. None of them are particularly, in inverted commas, budget, if that makes sense. I think all of them are really solid in their own right. So having all three in various style with variants on some, maybe poor selection of guns on something like Goldwing, but generally speaking, the kind of guns that you get in a set are really nice. Unfortunately, no Vandal, so I kind of baited you all a little bit there. I think this is one of the strongest battle passes that we've seen in a while. The sprays are always solid, the player cards are interesting, more to do with the agents that people play. Obviously a lot of seasonal stuff without it feeling, like for example the Omen Knitting player cards, you can roll with that all year round, man. That doesn't look out of place, whereas maybe like a Winter Wonderland skin or a buddy like that is a little bit awkward. But let me know what you guys think. Again, sorry if this is a bit of a longer video than we're typically used to. Usually this is a kind of video that I like to not only just sit down with Miska, who's one of my best friends, to just chat about the game and stuff, because I rarely get to speak to him nowadays, but also like it's a celebration of some of the hard work the Riot have put in. This is a really good battle pass, and I want them to know that, and I want to really highlight some of the work that the artists, the animators, the people that make the skins, from Pretty and Sean all the way down to the bottom. These guys have done a terrific job with this bundle, and also the skins recently. The last part of this year has been frankly absurd with how good some of the cosmetics have been in the game. Let me know what you think. If you don't like them, let me know why. I'm definitely interested to hear you. And again, more stuff on Chambers should be coming out over the next couple of days. Maybe the new skin line that's coming in with the Act. Maybe there's a massive patch over the horizon as well. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.